What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video. Today we're going to get into Aaron Rodgers sharing some insight on his future with the New York Jets and some new info on the Pat McAfee show. So we have spent a ton, and I mean a ton of time on who the next head coach and general manager is going to be for the New York Jets. There are 32 names on the list for both GM and head coach for the Jets. So it's a very, very long list, but there's a very important piece to the puzzle that we haven't really talked about nearly as much, at least in the last couple weeks, and that's the quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. And he shared some new insight on his future with the New York Jets on said Pat McAfee show. So not your prototypical Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on the McAfee show. Instead, he came on Thursday, and what he said was something that I agree with. And he said two things. One, that it will come down to the head coach and the new GM. And then number two, he shared some insight on meeting with Woody Johnson. Here's both his answers.
Well, the season is not technically over. I always feel like the season's over once the Super Bowl's over. And then, kind of everything resets. Everybody's 0-0 again, and there's a chance for everybody to reset. Now, there's obviously moving pieces in New York. There's been a number of job interviews for GM and for head coach. There's even, more names being released every day that the team is looking at. But I've had limited communication with them. The meeting about Woody was more about, team, future, different things. But I think everybody understands that it's going to come down to a GM and a coach and myself, and whether we all want to do a dance together or if it's not in the cards.
Okay. Tango potential still in New York. If not, there's other spots that are going to be looking for a quarterback. If you were to remain a quarterback in the NFL, that's a decision that you obviously will have to make. Open to anything, attached to nothing at the current moment.
That is the 100% right way to approach this thing. I am unsure if we see Aaron Rodgers as a Jet next year. In fact, I've said before, I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. But we found out today, according to some reports, that the Pittsburgh Steelers would not show interest in Aaron Rodgers if he became available. That was one of the teams that many speculated if Aaron Rodgers was to return and not come back to the Jets. Maybe Aaron Rodgers to Pittsburgh would make sense, but apparently that's not going to be an option. So I wonder if it really comes down to if he's going to play, it's with the Jets, or is he just going to retire? And again, my feel with how the last game went for him, it felt very final with how he handled it and also how the broadcast was. Felt like that was probably the last time we saw Aaron Rodgers. But if not, well, then it's going to come down to who the head coach and general manager is. And I think both the GM and the coach should be on the same page. I don't think it's going to be a good situation if, let's just use the example, Aaron Glenn is like, nah, I don't want Aaron Rodgers. And the GM, Mike Borgonzi, is like, yeah, we're keeping Aaron Rodgers. And then there's already infighting. I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just giving an example because those are two names that are very popular amongst Jet fans. Those guys have to be on the same page one way or another. And Woody Johnson has even said this before, that it's going to be up to the coach and the general manager to make that decision, as they should be. I hope he sticks to it. I hope no one gets in his ear. I hope he doesn't make any rash decisions. And he just lets whoever he decides is best to run the team to run the team. Let them be the general manager. Let them make the decisions on the roster, including the quarterback, and go from there. And if Aaron Rodgers is to come back, there are many variables that I think the Jets have to go through. Number one is it's not going to be the Aaron Rodgers show anymore. It's not going to be the Aaron Rodgers offense. He's going to have to learn a new offense. Nathaniel Hackett's not going to be here. Alan Lazard's not going to be here. The GM's going to pick the players. The head coach and the offensive coordinator are going to be the ones calling the plays. He's got to take a pay cut because that 2026 cap hit is something that I don't even really want to think about. And he's just got to be a little bit more open to change. If he is, okay, maybe this is a little bit more of a conversation. If it's going to be more of the same, then I don't think the Jets will bring him back. I think they will look to go in a different direction at the quarterback position. I get it. The options this year aren't great. Tough. They're going to have to figure something out. That's why they get paid a lot of money to figure this thing out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. Subscribe if you're new, and I will catch you next time.